If you want to grow your birth photography business, this video is for you. It's all about how to find and work with backup photographers. Yes, you need them. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you get notifications about all the newest episodes, and drop me a comment below and tell me how you found your backup photographer. I would love to hear from you, and I reply to each and every comment. Floofy. So we all know that birth photography is different from any other genre of photography because of that on-call life. You could be anywhere, anytime, any day, have to drop and go, whatever you're doing. That's why it is so important to have at least one or two, or preferably more like 5 backup photographers. And I know you know that, but when it comes to finding someone reliable to work with, it can be kind of a challenge. So I'm gonna lay out for you how to find your backup birth photographers and how to pay them. So here are some things that you need to look for when it comes to finding your backup birth photographer. First of all, do they shoot like you? Do they have a similar style as you? Is their experience level similar to yours? Are they very experienced or inexperienced? And how many births have they shot in comparison to you? How do you behave at the birth and how do they behave at the birth? Are they a little bit more chatty? Are they a fly on the wall, really don't talk to anybody? What is their personality like when it comes to the birth? You wanna try to find someone who shoots similarly to you and acts similarly to you at the birth. Do you do some posing after the baby's born? Do you kind of make it a little miniature fresh 48, or do you not do that at all? Those things are important to make sure that your backup is consistent and would do the same type of work that you would do at the birth. Just like with your clients, it's really important to sort out all of the details and the particulars with your backup before they end up shooting a birth for you. The first thing I would discuss beforehand is, are you going to pay them for their time on call, whether or not they shoot the birth? So some backups work in a way that is, they are paid for their on-call time, even if they don't shoot the birth. Now, that's not how I do things with my backups. We just trade out on-call time. So sometimes I'm on call for them, sometimes they're on call for me. It ends up working out, but it's completely reasonable for your birth photographer to ask you to be paid for their time on call, whether or not they shoot the birth. So that's the first thing I would discuss beforehand. The second thing I would discuss beforehand is, who is going to edit the photos? Is it going to be you, the original photographer, or the backup? It doesn't matter either way, just make sure it's discussed beforehand. The third thing that needs to be discussed beforehand is, what format is the photographer shooting in? Do they shoot in RAW or do they shoot in JPEG? I hope they're shooting in RAW. I hope you're shooting in RAW, but it's something that you definitely need to ask beforehand. Then, who is allowed to share these photos on social media? Are they, the backup, allowed to share on social media, or are you, only the original photographer, allowed to share on social media? That's something important to discuss with your client as well as the backup photographer, and establish that beforehand. Again, there's no right or wrong with any of this. It's just making sure that you both know what to expect before they ever shoot a birth for you. Then the big question, how are they paid? That's something I see come up over and over again. How do I pay my backup? I end up paying them about 30% of what I make, but it's completely up to you. I just pay a flat fee. If they go to the birth, they get a certain amount of money. Some photographers pay them hourly, so however many hours they're at the birth, they pay them, say, $25 an hour for every hour that they're at the birth. So just work with each other and discuss what you both think is reasonable. Think about, if you went to the birth, what would you want to be paid, and vice versa. The next big question is, how are you finding these backups? First of all, if you're not in our Facebook group for birth photographers, it's called Marketing for Birth Photographers. I will link it in the description. I actually have a file in the file section of locations of everyone. You can add yourself to that list and find people who are in your area. Another way is just find other birth photography groups, maybe location specific to you, or just other birth photography groups in general, and search in there and just say, hey, I'm looking for a backup. Is anyone in need of an extra backup or want to chat with me about it? Asking around on social media or friends, if they know birth photographers, if they know photographers who would be willing to be on call for you, just reaching out to your personal network and searching out for people. If you don't have a personal network, like if you're new to an area or something like that, I would reach out to midwives, I would reach out to doulas, and ask them if they know any birth photographers that you could reach out to potentially be a backup for you. Remember that you're searching for a similar style and similar experience level from this photographer. And you need to talk about all the what ifs beforehand. Now, if you're in a small town or an area with a low population, it might require a little bit more effort on your part. You might have to actually follow up with people, directly email people. And I made a little script for you that I'm going to put on the screen right now. So get ready to take a screenshot. That's it. Just that right there, fill in your details. And I might include a little personal touch, like including like, hey, I checked out your website, or something about them and their work, just to make it a little bit more personal. Lastly, it's super important to meet up with other photographers in person. It's good for finding a backup, and it's just good business. I know that it's uncomfortable to meet new people and it can be kind of intimidating, but if you want to grow your business and you want to change your business, then you have to do things that you've never done before. So it can get a little uncomfortable, but I promise you it will make big changes in your business to get out there and network with people, and it will open up new doors for you to connect with other backup photographers. Here's a question that I got from my Facebook group. She said, I've met no potential backups in my area yet. I'm afraid the couple that are established in my area will look at me as competition and won't be helpful. If the people that you've already reached out to are not interested, I would keep looking. I know it can feel like there are just 1 or 2 birth photographers in your area, but you might be surprised at how many you can find if you start digging. So I would encourage you to go back to the beginning of this video and really look through all of the ideas and ways that you can reach out to people one-on-one and connect with them. It might be someone who doesn't specialize in birth photography, but they're willing to get experience and work with you a little bit more. It might be someone who's not directly in your city, but a little bit outside of your city that would be willing to work with you. So I'd encourage you to keep digging just a little bit. What if the backup has a higher price list than you? I would say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they have a higher price list than you. This goes back to just talking about everything beforehand and communicating with them about what they're going to get paid and what you would want to get paid in return for shooting a birth for them. I get paid the same amount as my backups, but it's worth talking about. If you think they're more skilled than you guys could talk about paying that person more. It's really just keeping that communication open and working out something that works well for both of you. So that's it. I hope this helps you figure out how to find backup photographers, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and drop me a comment below. I reply to each and every comment, and I would love to hear from you.